I do have a lot of folks out there that ask the question, "How do you know all this stuff?" I said, I'm a book of useless knowledge. That's what I am, and I
That is, I or I know a little bit about a lot of things.
but the
Is
things that are sometimes not important.
right. Yeah, most of the time they're not important.
Oh crap, that's fun. That's fun.
There's the things that we think about while we're mowing the grass, or you're standing by the grill and no one's talking to you,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and
Uh,
your wife is or your kids are looking at you out there going,
what
"Wonder what they're thinking about." It's this stuff.
the things that roll, baby, the things that roll. All right, so let's start this show.
Can you take me back when we were just kids? We weren't scared of getting older, yeah. 'Cause no one knows you like they know you, and no one probably ever will. You can grow up, make new ones, but truth is, there's nothing like old friends. 'Cause you can't make old friends. Yeah. Can you take me back when we were just kids who weren't scared of getting older? Yeah. Now I've got some good friends now.
Welcome to the show that has little to no meaning and makes little to no sense. It is the show where you can expect the unexpected. This is Nonsensical Talk, on the air and in the cloud. Those crazy hosts will talk about anything and everything. And now, from their home studios in Middle Tennessee, here is your hosts, Alan Robertson and Joey Smith.
2023, Joey. We have finally got back together. Long hiatus, jobs, whatever. I mean, now I drive 3 hours a day to work and back home, and it's just really took the toll on me. And I know you've had a lot of freelance and a lot of trips over the break of summer that we had this year. And now I guess we're just going to start right into season 3 and say, forget season 2, it's in the bag.
I believe so. We're always looking forward. It's nice to look backwards,
Yes.
but really to reminisce. I was watching something, Alan, and
What's that?
I don't know if you've seen this. And I know that this is the kind of stuff that you're interested in. Have you seen the spaceship that is in California that Apple created?
I have not seen that. Where would I find
that? Google the spaceship.
Okay, Google the spaceship. Gotcha.
Apple.
The spaceship. Apple.
This is their new headquarters.
Oh my God, man, that is freaking cool.
And the center of it is a park.
It looks, yeah. It's almost, what is that? The movie with the helium, with the big circle, and that's what it looks like.
Yes, but they called it like whenever they were planning it out. It's a huge circle. Alan will throw it on the screen here in a second so you all can see it. But that is their new headquarters, and I believe it is Cupertino,
California. Yep, that's what I'm reading right here. Cupertino, California. Let's see. The architect was Norman Foster, and he started the construction in 2014, and they opened it in 2017. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought they were out there in the Bay somewhere with Facebook and all the other
you thought,
Google.
like you might have thought that they were in Santa Cruz or something like that, or in right there in that, which I guess they're still in California.
They're still in California. They're down south of Facebook, I think, in San Jose, kind of outskirts of San Jose. I think that's what that is. Okay, so they're still in the Bay with everybody else.
That Silicon Valley is. right there around a lot of knowledge and folks that they could tap into. And but I was sitting there thinking, I wonder if Ellen has seen this thing
I
since
have
it
never
was
saw it.
constructed. And so if you haven't seen it, anyway, it's the model for what Nonsensical Talk is looking at for our headquarters in Middle Tennessee. And that's all I've got to say about
That's
that.
all I got to say about that. I was going to say, man, they got a Steve Jobs theater that's completely glass all the way around it.
Well, what I was saying before I froze up there is that this is for our listeners and viewers out there. This is kind of the model that we're looking at when we're building our Nonsensical Talk headquarters in Middle Tennessee.
It may be a lot smaller than that one, but yeah, that's what I'm looking at. If it can fit on the back of my property back here, we'd be in great shape. I don't know how much glass it would take to actually build that back there, but that's fun. So, funny thing, I was listening to a book online, and because that's what I do, and they were talking about Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak when they built the Apple One, which was their first computer they ever put out. And basically, Steve Wozniak was the inventor of Apple, not Steve Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about, yeah, Steve was smart and knew how to sell, but if it wasn't for Wozniak, that wouldn't have happened. So,
yeah, Wozniak was the kind of guy that was sitting there soldering a wooden keyboard.
Yep.
With the letters that would make each character show up on a screen. He was turning the letter into bits, and that each character would be so much that on off trigger,
right,
of making code. And but to think that not only were they inventing that Apple II, they were also inventing an operating system. I mean, Texas Instruments, they were making those IBM type computers, but they didn't have the software to do it. So, of course, Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard.
Yep.
And there's a great movie. It's kind of outdated. It has Anthony Michael Hall starring Bill Gates.
Okay, Anthony Michael Hall.
It's called The Pirates of Silicon Valley.
Okay.
But Bill Gates' character says, this is kind of passing us by here. We've got to get to Texas because they need software writers.
Yes.
So they drop out of Harvard so they can go to Texas and start writing software for like Texas Instruments. And
wasn't that his best friend Paul from college? They both dropped out together, and really Paul,
I believe so. They were like living in a hotel, like an edge of town type hotel in Texas.
Yeah, I think Paul is actually the person that invented Microsoft. He's basically the one that wrote code, but Bill Gates was the one that kind of sold it. Or I shouldn't say sold it. What did he steal it? Because
actually, it kind of covers that in that movie, The Pirates of Silicon Valley. I have to look that up here in a second and let you know which one it's streaming on. It might be one of those movies that cost you $2 to watch. But they went to IBM and they didn't own an operating system.
Right.
They said, we have an operating system.
We just don't worry about that. We make computers.
And they got millions of dollars. Then they went to like Seattle and went to some guy that was like, in his 20s that wrote this operating system called DOS.
Oh, God. I remember DOS.
Microsoft bought it for like $20,000 or something like that.
Right.
They just got $1 million from IBM, and they bought it from someone that really did create DOS. and they loaded Microsoft DOS disk operating system on all these IBM computers. Now, disk operating system, the nerd is about to come out in me right now. It's a black screen and has a C prompt that's sitting there blinking, and that's your C drive that's blinking. You needed to turn to your A drive, which a floppy drive would be like one of those 5.25 floppies.
Yep, the huge
actually
one.
did. They were floppy, and but if you were going to look for files, you would search directory by typing in dir,
right,
and hit enter, and you could search all the files that are on that floppy if you changed it to the A prompt, and then you would be looking for the file name that had .exe.
Yep,
that's your execution
file, right?
That lets you know to start that program, and you couldn't run a program because computers then, they didn't have hard drives. They just ran off RAM.
Now, wait a minute. For the kids these days, that is called the command line interface. That was before the GUIs, which is what you see down in the screen. So all the kids that don't know what DOS is, it's really the command line interface. Okay? Just so y'all know.
Alan, someone had it wasn't even a 5.25 floppy. It was a 3.5 floppy. Someone brought that out, and their kid found it and said, "Did you 3D print the logo for the save on like Word? Is that what this is? You 3D printed the actual?"
That's funny.
They didn't realize that logo was from the floppy drive is what that save logo is. They thought the save logo was just, they weren't used to saving things on an actual disk because you didn't have hard drives on there.
Did you see the post from one of our friends from way back when, Corey? He posted a vintage photo. Of course, he always posts vintage photo on Facebook. But let me tell you,
Corey Poindexter.
So when he put that up there the other day, it was actually the three tapes in a plastic sleeve, the cassette tapes, and the Clarion, I think, was the name of those. And I went, oh my God, I remember using to buy those before Walmart was Walmart. Had to go to the sound shop in the mall there, Pennyroyal Mall, to get those.
To buy your blank tapes, and you're sitting there by the radio waiting for a song to come on. You've got record and pause.
Waiting for that DJ to shut up so you didn't have to hear him on the recording.
And you've asked for it. Here it is one more time. And it's Hall & Oates. You make my dreams come true.
And don't forget about the Hall & Oates hotline. It's very important that you call that if you desire to have some immediate Hall & Oates.
You need it.
The people at my work have a great joy of the fact that I actually know that there is a Hall & Oates hotline. And thank y'all for encouraging me to bring that out here. So I was looking at Facebook the other day, Joy, and this guy, there's some guy out there that does these recordings. I'm sure everybody's heard him by now. He's actually on TikTok, and basically he just talks about crazy stuff. And one of the ones I heard the other day was, why does your nose run but your feet smell? And I went,
It's a good question.
What that took me back to was a long time ago, back in the 80s, Joey, when you and I were on the phone one day, and you says, and I'll never forget it, why do you get a warranty for a smoke detector? I mean, at least whenever the house burns down, I got my smoke detector replacement. I remember that conversation you and I had back in, I think it was 85, 86. I was like, and then Mitch Hedberg, whenever he would always talk about the, park on a driveway, but drive in a parkway. I was like, so this guy has basically gone through and grew that. He's just funny as I'll get up. I like the skit or the bit.
One of my favorite Mitch one-liners is, if it's an elevator or escalator, I'll take the escalator because when it's broken, it becomes stairs.
Now that is true because the other one is a death trap.
Yeah.
I like that. I do. I was watching another one that I guess these guys they sit down and on a lawn chair and all they do is tell dad jokes. And I'm sitting here going, man, I could bottle those, but I mean, with technology, all the people that are young already know that. And because of the crap that you and I look at online, we get to see that because we look for stuff like that and it just pops up in our timelines. So we see that immediately. But some other folks who may be using Facebook different ways, because there is an algorithm. Every time you open up Facebook, whatever you look at the most is what's going to be there the most.
Right.
And so,
right.
These dad jokes.
It's kind of like things that are, I think of Reddit, that when stuff gets looked at and engaged, when there's engagement there, those stuff get like a little plus put next to them. Even though you didn't like it, someone paused on that and engaged it, or someone clicked on it. They may have not liked it. They may have not commented, but comments and likes even adds more engagement to it. More engagement, your friends that have that kind of contact of that person,
right,
of that friend, will more likely see that post. Is that algorithm, and it's kind of a weighing out your friends that you engage with and the things they engage with.
And then
some people just call that an echo chamber. An echo chamber is the content that you agree with the most shows up more because it's in your echo chamber. You're not getting as much stuff in a non-political voting area. You're only getting a lot of the stuff that you agree with from your friends.
Right. I think that's a great way to put it. But yeah, I know everybody's like, well, how do they know to put the commercial or the ad for something that you and I just talked about? Well, it's always listening.
Right.
So it's kind of
like Alexa.
Yes, Alexa's always listening. So it's pretty cool that stuff like that happens, but everybody thinks, how did it know that I was talking about Google the other day and all of a sudden now I got a Google ad? Or, hey, I like to watch.
Alan, I thought of some of the things that we're going to be talking about in 2023.
Yes.
We still got to reach out to our friend Shane Marr.
Yes. I've been watching Shane Marr. I've been waiting on him to get back with us. There's a lot of other folks. We had Danielle Gibson on here last year, and the comments in there are great to see those roll around because she's a good person and great singer. And then I just saw Big Fat, our friend Chris Ahonen, had stepped up, and he's actually been on some shows for some of his skits that I'm finding out there. And I was kind of like, okay, well, that's pretty cool. And to see that he's growing his comedic background, if you will. I know it's not for everyone, but we grew up in that time frame, and yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that have a particular audience, and he's putting content out there for that sliver of his market, and it's a good market out there. Mm-hmm. It's a big market. What reminded me of Shane, of course, for our viewers and listeners out there. Shane is a director and producer of films, and I was thinking about him the other day because I was gonna shoot him a message and let him know that think of all the money that the Transformers industry made when they came out with Transformers.
Right.
They got a lot of money from Chevrolet because they were the advertisement for the remake of the Camaro and of Bumblebee. And Bumblebee was that was a commercial. That entire movie was commercial for the yellow Camaro. And then you got the sequel to it, and then you got all the Mark Wahlberg sequels to Transformers. So it created it created this new industry. I've already got my idea. I'm going to say it right here.
Okay.
Shane, we are, Alan, you're in on it too, because you're in on this idea. We're going to come up with the GoBot movie industry. I know what you're thinking. GoBots are the Kmart Transformers that your mom bought for you she didn't buy you the name brand Transformers. You're like, GoBots?
What is this?
There's not 37 workable. It doesn't transform. It just folds up. Now it's a robot. It was a car. It's like one fold from car to robot.
Oh my God.
They just call it. So GoBots were the cheap Transformers. We're going to come up with the GoBot movie.
I think that would be
our
awesome.
GoBots, like we're going. I'm just going to let you know, Transformers. There's going to be some shots coming across your bow in our movie.
That's funny.
There's going to be some little things in there where we mention. Remember that time we whooped Optimus Prime? Remember that?
What was that? They're cookies, right? Cookies for the movie.
Yeah. And yeah, we're just gonna. Shane, there's our idea. Is we're gonna come up with the GoBot industry. We're gonna reboot the toys of it, and
instead of them being in a big metropolitan city, I think we need to keep it where Shane's at and just say, okay, Sevilleville, that's where we're filming.
Yeah, Dollywood's attacked by GoBots. The good GoBots and the bad GoBots.
They don't even
Smoky Mountain National Park, the most visited national park in the United States.
Nice.
It is. And
you would think that they would have been Yellowstone, right? You would think it'd be Yellowstone.
You'd think so,
but no.
Or Yosemite.
Yeah.
You would think it would be one of those. It's not. It's Smoky Mountain.
I think it's a beautiful place. Go there try to get through there about every year, but sometimes it doesn't happen. But
Tennessee is a state where we don't have to use last names. Dolly, Elvis, Jack.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Joey, Alan.
Here we are. And there you go. Absolutely love it.
Dolly's like, where's Joe and Alan at? They know who she's talking about.
They should.
You don't have to explain.
What is it?
She's like, you seen Joe and Alan? I saw him down in Lynchburg getting some Jack.
It's Loretta. You know who Loretta is.
Loretta?
Come on, man. I mean, and if we could ever get more people in here until, I guess, Reba left, but they only named a show after her, Reba. Only need her name, right? Maybe one day she'll move back to Tennessee. Get rid of California. Come on back home. Oh, that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. So we got, like Joey was saying, we got a lot of big stuff coming and a lot of things Joey and I have been talking about. And we talked about them actually last year. Just didn't come to fruition like we wanted them to. So we're going to double down this year. I'm going to figure out some ways to get things put into some kind of production, because the stories behind the stories, those were awesome, because I love the fact we actually got to go out and talk in Guthrie and got to find some of that Middle Tennessee flavor in Southern Kentucky, because it's right there. That's that line, Kentucky, Guthrie, Kentucky. Several things in Hopkinsville that stood out, and it's nationwide. And Tennessee's got a lot of those too. Clarksville's got a lot. And the thing about it is, we got to figure out how to do something on Gomer Pyle, because wasn't the drill instructor from there?
Yeah.
He's buried there in Clarksville.
Last name Carter.
Yeah. Sergeant Carter.
Sergeant
Carter's his name. What is his name? Sherman? Sherman something. I can't remember. I remember, but I do know that he's got a statue out there in Clarksville. And he's actually
Frank Sutton.
Frank Sutton, that's it.
He was born and grew up in Clarksville.
Yep, and ended up coming back to Clarksville to finish out his life there. That was awesome. That that I was just looking at Clarksville, just interesting items of Clarksville. Some people still can't believe that Clarksville was in Kentucky and should have been Kentucky, but we'll let it go at that. But we got a lot of several big names from around here that people wouldn't have thought of. I like to be able to bring that out and tell the story. But we got this little comic book that we do too, where we just talk about anything, and we're ready for you to tell us what you want us to talk about. PG.
It's pretty nice whenever we just talk about what's ever on our little brains, and
oh my God,
and that's called comedy.
And we definitely got a lot. I mean, and the folks that hung around us back when we were growing up. I mean, man, we could talk about some things. We got Mark Thomas. He was in the middle of all that, and Jesus, don't let me get my sister on there because she was involved in all that time as well. So I mean, it's continuous comedy that we're going to roll out, and we're going to continue to talk about it this year. I think that that would bring out a good show every month, and then we'll have those good ones that are stories behind the stories. And I like the fact that we're going to still bring up, because the did you know, which is what we usually say, did you know? It's really useless information, but you know what? If you didn't know, hey,
it's like, did you know that little piece of plastic that holds your laces together is a flugel binder? Flugel binder.
Flugel binder.
I don't know. I think that's a sniglet. I think I stole that from Sniglets. Flugel binder. Sounds good though. It
sounds great.
You could get by with saying, you see what that is? It's a flugel binder.
What was the little tripod with the little base on it that holds up the pie or the pizza, the box top off?
Yeah, a little pizza table.
The pizza table. I mean, come on, guys. I like it.
Keeps a box from smashing your pizza.
So you can stack pizzas on top of each other and get them there in that scalding hot.
Alan, here's what we're gonna need some more of. Also, we're gonna need some more of Alan in the kitchen.
Oh yes, so I did film one of those before I released it, and it was horrible, Joy.
Alan,
it reminds
all you gotta do, stick to the grits.
It reminds me.
Be like Waffle House.
Look,
hash browns.
It reminds me of the first show we did, where it was like.
So basically, you've set a bar. You can beat that bar. It's not out of touch.
It's not out of touch. Yes, I need to get in the kitchen because the first thing I did was the potatoes. But when I was filming it, I figured out something that I did wrong. So I didn't want to put that recipe out there because I changed it up a lot since then. So yeah, grits is easy. All you got to do is get you some true stone ground grits. Don't get into that quick grits.
It's not good. It's not easy for everyone. It's not made grits before, Alan.
I understand. And that's why they go get those quick grits and think that that's what grits are.
That's what they think.
Yeah, that's not grits.
You have to show them.
Yes.
So 2023, there will be some nonsensical talk, Alan's grits.
Absolutely. And I will show you how to make them properly. It'll be a quick one, but I'll show you how to make them properly. It all starts with the right place that you purchase them. And it is not Walmart, and it is not Kroger. You got to go online to find that stone ground. Unless you're in Dollywood or down in Pigeon Forge, down at the old mill, they've got some down there, stone ground grits. Stone ground is the only true grit, people. And it doesn't cook in 5 minutes. It takes 20 to 25 minutes to cook grit. If you don't believe me, ask Joe Pesci, my cousin Vinny. What is a grit? It's the hominy. How long does it take you to cook a grit? 20, 25 minutes?
The hominy.
Not only that, but what is it? You had magic grits? Oh, man. Good show.
That's funny.
Good stuff. So I hope everybody has taken what we've done here, and we're just going to, like I said, we're going to pop in on a 30-minute episode, and we're going to talk about a little bit of nothing, and we may do it more than once a month. It's going to be however we feel, and if we start feeling really good, we might be recording a lot. It depends on the editing. because the editing is what takes. We can get on here and talk all dang day. It's good. But the problem is that editing is what kills you. So we're going to make it to where we're going to just play the whole show. Even if we mess up, we're going to play it. We're not going to cut. Drag and drop, baby.
I call it freestyling.
Freestyling is what we're going.
Actually, I don't call it that. That's what they call freestyle rap in the 80s. Like when you can ask our friends Mike Carpenter and Buddy Bryson. Whenever I freestyle rap on our trips, and here's my trick, and they'll agree with this. They'll like this, and they'll agree that I'd say, "Well, I'm Joey, y'all. I'm going to town, y'all. I'm going to mall, y'all. See, everything rhymes with y'all. So like we would freestyle rap until you messed up. Well, I just have y'all, and then I could keep going."
Oh my God, that's hilarious! I love it. So. More to come.
They're like, wait a minute, foul. They called foul. Like, okay, foul here. Just keep saying y'all.
You can. There's no rule.
They discovered the secret. We have smart friends. They discovered the secret. They reverse engineered my rap and realized the formula.
Hey, the best one was when I recorded it onto my little cassette tape, that one that you sent. I wish I still had it. I think I've got it somewhere in a box. This just shows you how much of a pack rat I am. But the one where you were talking about you could clear a lane on a basketball court. You got stuck in one of those crazy elevators. Oh, that was hilarious.
That's old school right there.
That is old school. And the bad part about it is I was trying to beatbox that.
It's like drop me a beat, Alex.
Yeah. Now I don't drop beats. You know, what is it this year, Joey? We turned 53. I think our beating days are about.
Hey, it's just a number, Alan.
It is. I'm going to believe it.
It kind of reminds me of that Chris Rock movie CB4. I think we talked about on an earlier episode.
We sure did. I do.
When he said there's going to be this day where rappers are real old in a nursing home.
And that's going to be a day. That's a reckoning day there in a nursing home. So, all right, Joey. Well, look, we've had a little fun here today. I've thoroughly enjoyed getting back with you and being able to put out this stuff like this. And I promise you, we're gonna try to keep more fluent this year. Going to try to do a lot more fun stuff. Throw it out there. I know the first year we threw out a lot of information. Oh man, we had fun doing that. I liked the fact that we did all of the stuff we did. I became a more knowledge person talking about KC and talking about the Guthrie connection with the black tobacco patch war. So
yes,
that was that was fun. How we've tied almost everything together, and even whenever the burning of the building that Casey was in was part of that war, and it's like we tied all of that together. And I didn't really realize it at the time that we were tying that all together when we were telling the stories, but it all happened at the same time. So it was pretty cool to do that.
Yeah.
So go back and watch our earlier podcast where we actually take you down an adventure. And don't forget the Christmas one, because that's where you learn all the Christmas traditions. And even the ones you didn't want to know, you're going to know. And you'll enjoy it. So, Joey, anything for this wonderful people that are listening to us today?
Happy New Year.
And
we're glad to be back. You'll see us very soon. Until then, take care of one another.
Absolutely. Have a great day. We love you for staying around with us, and we love to watch our audience grow. So, see ya.
See y'all soon.